Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about the new cover reveal for The Walking Dead comic issue 190. Now I'm trying to think, if they do stick to the one issue a month schedule, sometimes they do a special where they release 2 issues a month, but if they do stick with 1 issue a month and there's no delays and we get no special extras, that means, if I do my math correct, we're going to be getting issue 200 a year from now. Like, we're going to be getting issue 200 in February. I know we're 2 days away from February. Do I have that math right? We're going to be getting issue 200 in February of 2020. Ouch, that's a long wait. I was just about to say, yeah, 190, man. That means issue 200 is right around the corner, but it's kind of not. However, time does go by quick, so that might be on us quicker than we realize. But yeah, here's the cover. 190, Storm the Gates. And my favorite part of this cover is I do like the sky. I like that red. I like the fire. When I first saw it, though, I didn't have the immediate urge to make a video like I do with a lot of covers that really pique my interest. I think kind of because I don't know where the story is going when it comes to conflict within the Commonwealth as far as really gripping my interest. And I'm not sure why that is. I think when it comes to the people within the communities, within the community and being detached from the leadership, I find that more thrilling, and I find that to have more tension, because then the leaders, they feel a little out of reach, they feel a little more mysterious, it feels like it's a bigger obstacle. But meeting the governor, we're always meeting the leaders. Rick and gang are always on top where everything's going down. You kind of just get this I don't know. It just has a different vibe to it. It makes the leader more vulnerable, I feel. It makes the leader easier to kill, easier to overcome. I don't know. There's something about that. Not all the time, just with certain things. I thought the governor was a very suspenseful leader. I thought the governor was a very scary leader in the way he operated. But with Pamela Milton, I know she's not being set up to be that type of scary leader. There's just something there where I kind of wish we would see more of the struggle with the people, and maybe that's what is coming up. Now, we have some shadow here, and I kind of feel like maybe they want to mislead us and think that here's an arm. It might be Michonne with her sword, even though she doesn't have her sword, and you know what I mean. Here's a spear. Maybe that's somebody from the Hilltop, which I do think it could possibly be. I'll explain in a second. But then we got the shadow here. We got a machine gun, another arm holding like a pipe or a baton or something. Now, here's the thing. If we look back, issue 189 is called Lines Are Drawn, and it looks like people within the Commonwealth or something like that, and there's a war going on or a beef going on. Now, storming the gates kind of came out of nowhere, because I was thinking, who the hell is storming the gates? Is there a beef with a group we don't know about and there's an enemy attacking? I thought the threat in the Commonwealth was it's eating itself from the inside out. So it's the people within Commonwealth. But maybe it's different communities in Commonwealth storming the gates. You know what I mean? Their own mini gates. Maybe the community near the governor's mansion or something like that within the Commonwealth. Because sometimes the titles could be really misleading. Some of the titles are kind of symbolic in a flimsy way, like the King and Queen with Negan and Alpha. There was a couple of other titles that, reading it through, it had a real loose connection with what was going on in the story. I even remember being real confused at one title, thinking, I don't understand, even symbolically, how that title even relates to this single issue. It kind of feels like it was a title that was on the original first draft, and when they changed things around, the title didn't quite fit the same. So storming the gates could either be somebody on the outside coming into Commonwealth as a whole, or it could be inside Commonwealth storming another section of Commonwealth. And I do feel like in order to get a good idea of what is coming up, we need to look back at what happened most recently in the issues. And I think the standout thing is we can piece together 2 main parts. You have Princess, who is leaving the Commonwealth, and then you have Sadiq and the Hilltop gang coming to the Commonwealth. Now, I say that because it looks like we have the image of Maggie, Sadiq, Jesus, and Aaron facing off with Princess in the middle of the street. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Maggie didn't even go on that journey. Didn't Carl go on that journey? I am really excited about that, but I think this is just more symbolic. So our Hilltop group will likely run into Princess somewhere on the road. It could be a part of the story that's not set up yet, where our group gets into trouble and Princess takes a stand and helps our group out on the road. She ends up coming back with them, possibly to the Commonwealth. Let's say 188 puts Princess and our survivors from the Hilltop, that recon group, let's say it puts those two characters together in the story, and then 189 sets up the conflict in Commonwealth and around Commonwealth with the different detached communities that make up the whole of Commonwealth. And then by the time 190 gets here, it is a war zone. There's fires, there's riots, there's all this shit going on, and our group with Princess gets to the gates, and maybe that is what it means by storming the gates, because our group is under the impression that the beef and the fire and the riots and the violence has something to do with Rick and gang, and they're in trouble and they need help, and that is what they mean by storming the gates. Maybe it is a side that's rushing, not knowing it is just riots, and it's the current leadership within the Commonwealth having a little battle within itself, and our gang rushes in thinking our group is in trouble. So the title would fit, the cover would fit, the story would fit that, but it wouldn't be a full-blown charge into the Commonwealth, like a full-blown attack, because once they see it's riots and the people in Commonwealth, I would imagine they're not going to randomly attack people that they don't recognize, especially people that don't look like they are with the governor. They don't look like they are soldiers, because that's the thing I would imagine is going to be going on if it is the Commonwealth ripping itself apart from the inside out. They're going to be attacking, the ordinary citizens are going to be attacking the soldiers and everyone who is a leader. They're not just going to attack regular looking survivors, you know? So that's kind of where my head is at when I'm looking at these covers and wondering about the story coming up. Now, I do believe there is potential for a beef between Rick and Mercer. I do believe there's a potential between the new leadership of Commonwealth and Rick and gang, if Rick is trying to support and doesn't want to go against Pamela Milton just yet, and he wants a smoother transition, a smoother change in leadership here, either her change her ways or come to understand a better way of leadership, and Mercer's just not down for that, doesn't have the patience for that. We know Pamela's son will definitely get in the way. He's been set up to be a little shit. I am still waiting for that big unknown. I really feel like we are either getting a big unknown that's going to pop off any moment now during this story. We are going to get a big unknown that's going to pop off any moment now during this story. Or I personally might be a little let down because my interest is kind of waning a bit when it comes to leadership in the Commonwealth and then beef between our communities. I'm just not finding a lot of that fun and interesting of a read. It's neat because it's, you know, civilizations that are building up and yada yada yada, but I kind of feel like maybe I would have enjoyed this story a little more if it was spread out a little more and we were getting additional side stories that had a little more mystery to it, a little more action. The world is massive. I don't know why we're not following some little group that scavenged far out, and then we keep peeking back with them and following their journey. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me is really eager for a part of the story that's gonna take place in a layered way during all these other main events. Like maybe the Commonwealth is the main event, and then we have another small group that let's say there's an area with some type of equipment or stuff, scavengeable stuff, not just food, but you know, resources they can use, and maybe they venture farther out and that little group runs into a different gang or a different tribe or different type of world environment that we can see. I don't know, just survival stories blended and layered within this story. I know we might have some here and there, but it's not as much discovery as I want, and maybe Kirkman is doing that purposefully so that way we don't have too much going on. But there is a part of me that wants the characters to go out and discover and explore new things within this time skip and this new world that's being built up here. And I do understand he does have limitations because he only has zombies in this story. Don't get me wrong, I think we need stories that only have zombies. We have Resident Evil, for example. I'm streaming Resident Evil a lot on this channel, and Resident Evil 2 remake of the video game is amazing. I definitely highly recommend you check out the stream or the game itself, because that game is awesome. Within that game, you got government corruptions and monsters and stuff like this, so there's a wide variety of different types of stories you could pull from that. Within the world of The Walking Dead, you either have human threats, they're either crazy or they're either oppressive, you know what I'm saying, or they get along with you, they're nice people, or you have the zombie threat, and the zombie threat can only be that one type of zombie. So you are restricted to what type of story you want. I guess I'm just kind of eager to see a little more of the world, a little more art in the beautiful contradiction, I call it, within the world and stuff. Hopefully we get some of that after the Commonwealth. I would be fine with a story that just takes a breather or layers itself a little more with the main events going on, and we go out and explore more of this world and on the road living and surviving. I think that would be pretty cool. Simpler story, nothing crazy. We don't have to meet up another huge community. It could just be on the road and different types of challenges they face. Maybe a lot of people find that boring. I just want to give it a shot for at least a little bit, All right, put your thoughts and opinions about this cover and about issue 200. Coming up, what do you think Kirkman has in store for issue 200? Put those down in the comment box. I'm done talking, and it's your turn.